Good evening, one and all, and happy Drew Bellis Bump Day to all those who celebrate. The electric Big Train left-hander is starting Game 2 of tonight's doubleheader against the Southern Maryland Senators. He's struck out a league-leading 29 batters, been incredible this year. Alongside Eliav Brooks Rubin, I'm Jackson Corcoran. We bring you inside the broadcast booth. Eliav, the Big Train, able to capture Game 1 of this twin bill 7-1 on the back of a sterling start from Russell Peterson.
Yeah, that game was suspended in the second inning 2 weeks ago. The Big Train entered today, losing 1-0 in the third inning. But that was all the damage they incurred. Russell Peterson went 7 scoreless. He struck out 7, allowed just 4 hits, and the offense came on immediately. 3 runs the first time they came to the plate today in the bottom of the third. A Josh Skoronsky 2-run home run made it 5-1, and they never looked back.
And now they've got Drew Bellis taking the hill for Game 2. Bellis on the season has made 4 appearances, 3 of them starts, thrown 14 innings, a 3.21 ERA, but 3 of the 5 runs he's allowed have all come in 1 inning. Besides that, he has been impressive to watch.
With that being said, the 1 inning was against this team, the Southern Maryland Senators, and it was the first. So we're going to be watching closely to see how he looks out of the gate. In that game, he really struggled with his location, at least early on. A game that the Big Train lost 6-2. Bellis faced 9 batters in that first inning. He walked 3 and allowed 3 hits, all in the first 6 before retiring the last 3. So if he can start strong, he could be in for a day. But this lineup put up just 1 run in the first game and 0 runs in the 7 innings we played today, and it's hard to keep them down for long.
But I have to think a part of the struggles he faced early in that Southern Maryland game was the fact that he was pitching on just 3 days rest after throwing 42 pitches. Today he's on a more standard 5 days rest for a college pitcher at least. And so he should be good to go, and that electric stuff will play up once again against the Southern Maryland lineup. We'll take a look at that in just a moment after this first bat from Nick Flores.
Flores was stifled for the most part in game number 1. He went 1 for 5, 1 for 3 today, with the first 2 at-bats coming before we resumed play, or before we resumed play. His single came in the 9th.
Game 2 begins at 7:06 p.m. Eastern Time. The 0-1 from Bellis to Flores is high and outside.
That's the curveball from Bellis, and he just didn't quite get on top of it, and it didn't break very much.
The 1-1. Fastball upstairs. Couple pitches that have slipped out of his hand, and he goes and manicures roughly his landing spot. It's been trifled with throughout the first game. Lands here and throws 90 miles an hour inside.
And not the start Bellis was looking for after the first pitch strike 3 straight balls, none of which were particularly competitive.
Gets right back in there and induces a foul ball.
I don't love that approach from Nick Flores. I know that he wants to get on base early, but a guy who hits 357 of the 423 on base, he's not doing that by expanding the zone, swinging a pitch below the knees in a 3-1 count.
Got him looking, or did he? That pitch was right down the middle, and the umpire did not get the call. My goodness, that was certainly a strike. Our TrackMan 3D zone agrees, but the umpire disagrees, and Nick Flores heads over to first base.
Yeah, really good pitch from Drew Bellis, and like you said, just didn't get the call.
Squaring to bunt and getting it down the third base line is Adam Truck, and Corbin and Bellis collide. There's nobody at third base, and Flores able to get over to third, first to third on a pitch that went about 40 feet, and Corbin still down on the ground.
A tough play, Drew Bellis trying to do maybe a little too much, bouncing off the mound to cover that. That's Corbin's ball, but not sure what the line of communication between the two of them was. And that was a hard collision. Corbin was bent down and in a pretty prone position when Bellis ran into him. He was trying to pick up that ball so he could throw to first.
He's getting up now. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams. As you can see, Flores and Truck already on the base paths. For the Big Train, Alex Peltier had a very nice game 1. His batting average on the year is up to .429. Emilio Gonzalez hitting .391, back in the cleanup spot. Dylan Murphy doing the catching today, hitting 9th. He's coming off a very good game.
Dylan Murphy went 3 for 3 in his last game. That was yesterday. Had a triple, a double, and a single, so just a home run short of the cycle.
This is Logan Tribble. He's up with runners on first and third, nobody out. And he fouls it straight back to start off his plate appearance.
Now Bellis now needs to get in attack mode quickly. This inning in danger of starting off much like the last time he faced Southern Maryland, where the first 6 men reached.
Fly ball center field. It's going to push Peltier back and likely allow Flores to tag. Peltier comes in. The throw towards home plate is going to get all the way home, forcing Murphy up the line. Nowhere near getting the out, but Truck has to stay put at first base.
Good productive at bat for Logan Tribble, going after pitch number 2 and securing an out.
And Sal Colangelo going out to mess with the mic pack on the back of Dylan Murphy's gear. That allows pitching coach Craig Lopez to communicate the calls. Drew Bellis now has a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Steven Krause. Krause has punched out 14 times this year, and that's another pitch that looked to be there but doesn't get the call. And Bellis can be an emotional pitcher out there on the mound, and not getting the calls early could put him in a worse state of mind. Checks over at first. And very similar spot. This time it's a strike.
And Bellis just a young guy. He played his freshman season at UCF this past year. Only made 4 appearances, so not a super experienced guy at the collegiate level.
And he gets Truck running off first base, and they got him. The pickoff. Truck took off right away on first move, but Gonzalez throws a strike over to Brennan Wright, who's playing shortstop today, who slaps down the tag for out number 2.
Yeah, I thought there was a chance Truck slid in there safely. So speedy is Adam Truck with 13 stolen bases on the season, but really good job by Gonzalez to step inside the line. When you're the first baseman, you see the guy gets picked off, starts darting for second. You have to come inside the base path so you're not at risk of hitting him, and threw a dart.
And so Truck is caught stealing, but the 1-1 to Krause is high. He's hitting .348 on the year. That one a little high. Not a very forgiving zone from our home plate umpire in game 2. Bell steps back to the rubber, and that one's in there to fill up our count.
Good pitch from Bellis. Doesn't get the call high, so he goes low.
Bellis has struck out 5 or more in each of his 4 outings so far this year, and he's off today as he strikes out his first at Steven Krause. That sets down the side. The Southern Maryland Senators pick up a run on 1 hit, nobody left on. The Bethesda Big Train will get their first swings when we come back after a recap of Game 1 from Quincy Bell. Quincy?
Big Train wins 7-1 in Game 1 of a doubleheader, a continued game from June 13th against the Southern Maryland Senators. The Big Train started the game down 1-0, but that 1 run was the only run that the Senators would score the entire game. 7 shutout innings from Russell Peterson with only 4 hits allowed. He was absolutely magnificent on the mound, and the offense did their part as well. Alex Peltier, with this 2-run single, got the scoring started.
Corbin's at 15.
Peltier's got 14 as well, and he grounds it through the left side for a base hit. Corbin's going to score. Skoronsky coming around, and the Big Train take the lead. It's 2-1 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Josh Skoronsky later added on with this home run to right field.
He could rival that. Skoronsky gets into one high and deep to right field, and that ball lands in Souvenir City. A 2-run home run for Josh Skoronsky, his first of the campaign.
Big Train now sit with the best record in the league at 12-6, but they're going to have to defend it. Game 2 against the Senators coming up next.
and Martinez due up for the big train. Who else? It's become the three entrenched at the top of the Bethesda lineup, and Alex Peltier, perhaps the best among them, hitting .429 with 11 stolen bases.
Yeah, I mean, you can extend that really down to Gonzalez and Steele hitting 4th and 5th as well. Barring when one of them gets a well-deserved off day, the 5 of them are going to hit in the first 5 spots in this order.
First pitch to Peltier is up and in from Mark Lubier. Lubier this year has made 3 appearances, 6 innings, and a third, a 9.94 ERA.
Peltier 3 for 4 in game number 1. And he has now 9 multi-hit games in 15 outings. That is just a frankly unbelievable stat. He's also only had 2 games without a hit. One of those came against the Senators on Monday. And he's riding a 4-game hit streak since that game.
He flies that one foul. It's now 1-2. The Pirate does have a bit of strikeout in his game, more than some speedsters. Came in today 5th in the league in Ks, but makes up for that with his average. And he strikes out here. A check swing went around, and that's one punch out for Mark Lubier.
A good start to the day for Lubier, who has just 6 strikeouts on the season. He started all 3 games he's played in, but hasn't worked deep into any because he has walked 6 and allowed 6 hits for that 9.94 ERA and a whip of almost 2. So, a refreshing start for Lubier.
Wright showed trying to get a bunt down the third baseline, pulls back in time to earn ball 1. But this left-handed hitter is hitting .333 on the year and has reached in every game that he has played. Takes strike 1 on the outer corner.
This game will be just 7 innings long, so matching that Senators run is imperative. You don't want to go too deep into a hole in a game that is shortened.
Brennan Wright trying to help that out by getting it started. He has 7 multi-hit games on the year. He's had success in bunches.
Yeah, Wright has reached in every game this season that he's played in, 16 of 18. Did not play in game number 1.
Swinging a fly into center field. Starting in, then coming back is Adam Truck, and that's 2 outs.
Martinez, and this is a guy who's starting to heat up. 6 hits in 6 in a row. Had an error that was changed to a single, deservingly a single, to extend that hit streak.
He is moved over to second base to accommodate Brennan Wright, stepping into the lineup at short, and he swings through a first pitch fastball at the letters.
Yeah, a little bit of a different look for the big train. I think second or third time they've lined up like that this season, but almost every game it's been Martinez at short, Wright at second. I'm doing a little switcheroo today.
Martinez's second game at the Keystone. The big train won the only previous time he did that. They are 4-1 with Brennan Wright at short.
3 of those games coming while Martinez was out with an injury. One of those came in the short second arrangement we see today, and Martinez also has a game DHing.
Martinez faces a 1-2 from his fellow FAU Owl. Swing and a pop. That's going to go just beyond the infield dirt and be caught by Cale Vincent. 1-2-3 go the big train in the bottom of the first. Will return with the Bethesda big train trailing 1-0. returns to the hill for his second inning of work. Walked the leadoff batter on a pitch that should have been strike 3, and Nick Flores eventually came around to score. Now he'll face 5, 6, and 7 in the Senators' role. First pitch to Carter Groen is a called strike with his big curveball.
MJ Phillips, who's hitting third in this inning, 7th overall, one of 2 changes to the Southern Maryland lineup in terms of starters. The lineup has shifted around a bit, but Phillips and Vincent, the second baseman, the only 2 in for the first time today.
A fastball fouled away, and Bellis way ahead, 0-2. There's been a bit of gridlock in the Southern Maryland Senate after beating the Big Train 6-2 on June the 23rd. The Senators are now 2-5.
It's been a struggle, and they are currently embarking on a road trip, as much as you can call it a road trip when they get to go home every night. But this is game number 5 of 9 straight games on the road. So they have struggled to a 1-3 record in their first 4.
And Groen waves at that filthy curveball from Drew Bellis, second straight K for the left-hander. Bellis has 2 unique breaking balls. One, a tighter slider, a couple miles per hour faster. Doesn't break downward as much. And then that one you just saw, the big vertical curveball, so difficult to square up, especially when it plays off his very righty fastball.
Yeah, fastball, one of the best on the team. As we talked about in game 1, it's up there with the best, but it's not his best pitch. That has to go to that big breaking curveball, which he is so good at locating at the knees when he wants it and in the dirt when he's expecting a swing.
He gets behind Danny Surwick, 2-0, looking to come back in. Fastball inside. Surwick uncoils and fouls it into his own dugout.
Surwick 0 for 4 in game number 1, including a line-out double play.
There's that slider, that tighter, a little faster slider. It's still a very good pitch, and it is a very different look to that slower breaking ball. Still, that curveball, for as much movement as it gets, very fast at 81 miles an hour. And that was a slider, I believe, gets a big swing and miss. Now 3 strikeouts in a row. Ugly whiff from Danny Surwick, his 16th strikeout of the season.
And Drew Bellis says, forget about a curveball. You got to hit my slider first. That was the best pitch he's thrown all night, and that rivals any curveball he can throw for grossness.
And that pitch is 85 miles an hour, almost cutter speed, given that his fastball is 91 to 92. He goes back to the well. That one left a bit high.
It almost profiles more like a cutter in movement, too. It might really be more of a cutter than a slider, although he calls it a slider. But it doesn't have, the big sweeping movement you'd expect from a typical slider. It's pretty tight, and the movement it does have is short and late, which is a very good pitch in its own right.
Bellis looking to go 1-2-3 against MJ Phillips. Has to work back from a 2-0 count. Gets a swing and a miss with that slider again. And while the curveball, the big breaker, is a pretty aesthetically beautiful pitch, that slider is just brutal. Just like a 70s office building. Brutalist but effective. And it gets guys out. That one, though, a little inside. The 3-1. Cut and a miss.
Yeah, back to that slider, cutter, whatever you want to call it. That one pretty centrally located in the zone, but sitting fastball, Phillips was way out in front.
He's got very good feel for that slider cutter pitch today. Goes to the full count, swing, and a foul.
And went right back to it. So he is overwhelming usage on what you are terming a slider, I think, is more of a cutter. I think in between innings, I'm going to solve this once and for all. But that's been the overwhelming usage so far today.
Bellis shakes once, twice, then nods yes to the third. The 3-2. Curveball, strike 3. Drew Bellis K's the side, and we're going to the bottom of the second. Big Train looking to cut into a 1-0 Senators lead. Triple jump gold medalist Theo LaFond is at Shirley Povich Field tonight, attended nearby John F. Kennedy High School, currently teaches special education in that same district. An incredible athlete, won the first gold medal for the nation of Dominica.
In the triple jump, and honored here tonight on Special Olympics night. She is not a Special Olympian, but an Olympian combined with a special education teacher. So a unique combo that certainly fits the profile of the evening. Also noted tonight was the Montgomery County Special Education team that offers free Special Olympic team that offers free Special Olympic training to any residents of Montgomery County, the kids at least.
Another example of Big Train connecting with the Montgomery County community. That pitch is in there for a strike to Emilio Gonzalez, where the Big Train connects with the community. He connects with the baseball, hitting .391 on the season with 18 RBI. Takes that pitch high and outside, ball 3. Lou Beer set down the first 3 batters he faced, and a tough trio it is. Now perhaps the toughest of the bunch, and his teammate Gonzalez. That's sent to deep center field. Back going truck is at the wall. It is off the wall. Extra bases for Gonzalez. He's pulling into second with a leadoff double.
Emilio Gonzalez got into that one. That ball had a chance to go, comes up just short, clanks off the batter's eye in center. But that is Gonzalez's 7th extra base hit in his last 10 games, and he has a hit in each of those 10.
If we had StatCast, I think it would say that that's out in multiple Cal Ripken League ballparks. It's certainly out in Gaithersburg, that shallow center field. Big Train Shirley Povich isn't incredibly deep in center, but that high wall makes it very difficult to get balls out to straight away. Here's Peyton Steele, swinging a fly, same spot, a bit shallower. Truck backpedaling. Gonzalez tags, takes 3 steps, then comes to a halt.
A faster runner might try to head for third there and set up Skoronsky for an RBI, but Gonzalez content at second.
Here's Josh Skoronsky, who's really been finding his way at the plate in the last few games, Eliav.
Yeah, Josh Skoronsky had 5 hits in his last 2 coming into today, and then hit the 2-run homer that was really the knockout punch in the 4th inning. His only hit of the game, but That gives him 4 extra bases.
Sculled on the ground towards second baseman Vincent. He retires Skoronsky, allowing Gonzalez to move over to third.
Yeah, just hit that one off the end of the bat. Really well located pitch from Lubier. Put that one low and away, and not much Skoronsky could do with it. That's up to Parker Corbin, who his numbers aren't fantastic this season. They're certainly not bad. The OPS is up above 780. The average is at just 200, but he hits well over 300 with runners in scoring position.
He's got Gonzalez at third now, and the first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Slightly open stance at the plate. He pats his bat onto the shoulder and takes a strike called.
A good pitch right on the black for Lubier, who has bounced back nicely in the first 2 batters since allowing that leadoff double.
Lubier coils and delivers. That's a breaking ball that it's going both ways. That looked to be in the zone, and the home plate umpire tight-fisted. Lubier now working from behind, swinging a foul. Count is all even.
Corbin walks more than he strikes out. Tough guy to get out swinging. He did go down looking in game number 1, but had 2 walks to go with it.
Swinging a ground ball towards Vincent once again. It takes a hop on him. He comes up with it. The throw is late. Parker Corbin makes for safely, and Emilio Gonzalez scores to tie this game at 1.
That'll go down as an E4, error number 1 for the Senators in this game, and comes in a big spot that is directly responsible for Gonzalez scoring. That ball not hit hard at all, but just took a little carom off the lip and confused Vincent enough. And Parker Corbin, also not one of the speedier guys like Gonzalez, but beating it out of the box and able to arrive a step and a half early.
And that's as unearned as a run can be. Lubier doing very well to work back in this inning. That's looped towards right field. Diving attempt. Groen can't get it. That's down for Matt Wesley. Stop sign at third for Parker Corbin, but another extra base hit for the designated hitter, Matt Wesley.
That moves Wesley back into a tie at the top of the leaderboard in terms of doubles, actually coming up 1 short of Peyton Steele and Nick Flores, who both have 7. That's Wesley's 7th extra base hit, his 6th double. And now Dylan Murphy, who was the best bat in yesterday's win, will get a chance with 2 in scoring position.
Do you know what the name for a group of owls is, Eliav?
A group of owls is a...
It's a unique one.
I feel like I should know this.
Think British government.
It's a parliament of owls.
It's a parliament of owls. That's what we have here today with Dylan Murphy stepping to the plate against Mark Lubier. 3 FAU players in the big train lineup, and Mark Lubier, an FAU product himself, facing a man he might pitch to at some point throughout the year.
Yeah, I would be surprised if these guys haven't faced each other before in practice or a scrimmage of some sort. Live batting practice, whatever you will. Emilio Gonzalez clearly had seen Lubier before. So he's able to drive one to center field, and John Martinez, the 3rd owl in this lineup.
Chet Bowling has a very tough block to make and makes it well, keeping Parker Corbin at 3rd. Lubier steps, kicks, and the pitch comes homeward. Fouled away by Murphy.
Dylan Murphy counts 1 and 2, but he's only struck out once all season. That coming just a few games ago. Had the longest stretch to start a season without a strikeout of anyone in the Cal Ripken League. He made it up to about 21 at-bats.
And he lines that one in the left field. That's going to score 2 runs. Murphy rounding first hard, and he'll put on the brakes after a 2-run single for the consummate contact hitter.
And Dylan Murphy has been hitting the cover off the ball. It started off that Jacob Hawk was the better offensive catcher, but Murphy has turned it on lately. Came into this game hitting .385, and that will continue to climb.
His OPS now over 1,000. And he has helped the Big Train. You talk about taking advantage. That's what the Big Train did in the third inning, the first inning played today of yesterday's game. And a 2-out error has turned into 3 runs here. That's grounded foul by Peltier.
In the third inning of last game, it was 3 straight walks to open the action, and then Big Train able to plate all of them. And here, just a kick from Vincent, who I'm sure is kicking himself now. As now 3 runs have come to score as a direct result.
Peltier squares, it's up and in, and it scoots away from Chet Bowling. On to second goes Murphy. And that ability to take advantage has helped the Big Train to a 6-4 record when their opponent scores first. That is very, very hard to do.
Yeah, 6-2 when they score first, but 6-4 when your opponent scores first is pretty unbelievable.
Peltier trying to butt for a hit again, and my goodness, he is unbelievable. A perfect bunt once again. How many times have we seen that? Alex Peltier, are you kidding?
It's a one-upsmanship. Alex Peltier, Brett Ott, they both keep doing it. And in yesterday's game, it was Ott first, and then Peltier says, whatever you can do, I can do just as well. And now he says, I can do it better. That is, I think, 4 straight games with a bunt single, not counting 4 straight days. He didn't have one in this afternoon's game, but Alex Peltier just unreal with the bunt.
And now he takes off towards second, and Chet Bowling doesn't even try. What a jump from Peltier. That's his 12th theft of the year.
And when this Big Train offense is humming on all cylinders, you cannot give them a gift like Cale Vincent did, and they have made Vincent and Wimberly pay.
Ground ball towards short. Flores throws on the run and retires Brennan Wright. The Big Train make a meal out of a 2-out error, score 3 runs on 3 hits, or 4 hits rather, leave 1 runner on. They now lead by 2 after 2.
Bellis now has a lead to work with. The Big Train plate 3 in the second, all unearned. And it's good that Bellis has a lead because he has sharpened up since allowing the first 2 to reach on a walk and a bunt single. He's retired the last 5 and 4 in a row via the strikeout.
Boy, did he look good last inning. Struck out the side and looked devastating doing it.
Misses for ball 1. He takes on Chet Bowling. Bowling catching today. He also caught the 7 innings that we played today of last game. He did not start that game. Counts even at 1. One. Wave and a miss. Went fishing for that slider.
Bellis has both breaking balls working today. Gone to the slider a bit more. That's almost made the curveball all the better of the pitch.
1-2 from Bellis. And Bowling watches a gutter ball go through. Strike 3 looking. And Bellis has 5 in a row.
I mean, my goodness, getting it done every sort of way. The last 2 have been looking. The first 3 were swinging. He's had ugly swings. He's had pitches just barely fouled off, comes back, plays off it, and then gets the swing and the miss. I mean, he's really settled into this game.
That time a fastball, middle cut, but with the 2 feet of vertical ride. Cale Vincent just did not put a great swing on it. Bellis working quickly 0-1. Misses inside for ball 1.
Something I'm excited to see is that the first 2 fastballs of the setting came in at 86. Makes you pause because Bellis is a 91-92 guy. These last 2 have been at 90. He's back in the groove.
Throws at 89, top of the zone. And that is a very difficult pitch to hit.
Yeah, his fastball just has so much hop to it. It's really a unique pitch. Not a lot of guys can throw a fastball like that.
1-2. Misses high. Went back to the fastball.
There's a lot of breaking balls, changeups that you can design. You can figure out how to throw a pitch that moves a certain way. But to have a fastball of that caliber, you have to be born with it.
2-2 pitch. Goes to the slider. Actually, another fastball. My mistake. And good job by Vincent to foul it up and back. Vincent did not play in game 1. The first time these 2 teams met on Monday, he went 1 for 3 with a double just inside the left field line. 2-2. Bellis kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss. That's 6 consecutive punch-outs for Drew Bellis. The flamethrower is back.
I mean, it's really just something else. It's a thing where even as a broadcaster, I'm just sitting back and having fun watching him pitch. Just the way he goes about his business out there on the mound is just so much fun to watch. Like, the things his stuff does to batters. I mean, again, like, what can I say? It's just so much fun.
And he's doing it every which way. The fastball up, the slider down, the curveball dropping in there. That last strikeout was on the curveball. This time, fastball way inside near the back hip of Flores, who bats for the second time. Flores, the only run scored for the Senators. He walked, went first to third on the bunt single collision, and came around to score on a sac fly. Fouled straight back into the netting.
Flores put in a nice at-bat against him to start off this game. Earned a walk he maybe shouldn't have earned, but got it nonetheless, then came around to score.
Bellis is 1-1. Right on the outside corner for strike 2.
And there's a changeup. Doesn't pull that out of the pocket very much, but, I mean, that's as good of a changeup as you can throw. That's his 4th best pitch, and it's a dot on the outer half.
1-2. Bouncer, just foul.
I mean, there's a reason this guy leads the Cal Ripken League full of talented arms in strikeouts by a pretty wide margin. He's up to 35 now. No one else even close to that number.
35 and still working. 1 pitch away here. And on the inside corner, paint from Drew Bellis. He strikes out this side for the 2nd consecutive inning. And the Big Train hurler has 7 Ks. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Big Train still lead 3-1. Mark Lubier out for his third inning of work. He'll take on the heart of the order, Martinez. Gonzalez, the two Owls, will face off against their teammate, and then Peyton Steele, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Martinez facing Lubier, who caught a really tough break. Leadoff double to Gonzalez last inning, then got 3 outs in a row, basically. An easy ground ball took a bad hop on Vincent, and then from there, things unraveled. Ended up allowing 3 unearned runs that are about as unearned as you can get, because he should have been out of that inning easily.
Yeah, got a really soft ground ball, like you said, from Corbett, and then Wesley followed with a double. Martinez bouncer to third over there. Surowick on to first in time. The bouncer to second was easy, and then a soft fly ball from Wesley into right field that just could not be handled by Groen. And then the hard line drive from Murphy, the bunt single from Peltier. And all in all told, a 3-run inning. Emilio Gonzalez, who started that inning off with the double, comes to bat now. First pitch, outside corner for strike 1.
The way Gonzalez is seeing the ball right now, it is just a beach ball for him. The way he has been hitting recently, I mean, sending a double to the wall last inning. Able to hold up there. That's a good pitch from Lubier, but, I mean, when you're on, you hold that bat a couple extra centimeters. It doesn't cross the plane. When you're off, you end up going.
1-1 from Lubier. Fouled away. I'm going to give you guys a quick laundry list of categories that Emilio Gonzalez is top 5 in this league. He is first in OPS, first in slug, third in average, fifth in on base. Coming into the day was tied for fourth in hits, tied for third in runs, first in RBIs, first in extra base hits, tied at the top of the leaderboard, and third in doubles. Added another double and an extra base hit, and to the slugging percentage, every category you can think of in the first inning here. Also picked up a single in game number 1. 1-2 from Lubier. This one cracked into center field, but not quite as deep as his last fly ball, and truck handles no problem.
Not a bad swing there. A pitch at the bottom of the zone, just got a bit under it. But that double back in the second extends his hitting streak to 10 games, which is the longest streak that anyone in the Cal Ripken League has had this year.
Big Train players have the longest too. Alex Peltier had a 9-game hit streak. Well, and he has hits in all but 2 games. The first game he played, then he recorded hits in 9 in a row, and then the first time these two teams met, where he went 0 for 5, and then has hits now in 5 consecutive since then. 1-0 pitch to Peyton Steele. This one popped up in a right field, playable for Groen near the foul line, and he makes the grab in fair territory for out number 3. So the Big Train go quietly in the third, and more Drew Bellis when we come back.
What am I looking at? You guys have been liking the intern interviews, so we have another one for you today. We're here with Andrew Whitesaw. Andrew, what does a normal day in your life look like working for the Bethesda Big Train?
So typically we show up about 2.5 hours before the game. We'll have a pre-game team meeting where we get all of our assignments and what we're doing for the day, what needs to get set up and what needs to get done. And then we typically break off into our groups for the day, so either ticketing or on-field, concessions, and then start getting set up for the games, whether that's tables, starting to prepare food, all that stuff. The gates open about an hour before game, so that's obviously when our fans start coming in, and we have people starting to flow into the stadium, and then we actually start helping the fans, and then obviously as the game starts, just make sure fans have a good experience.
What drew you to work for the Bethesda Big Train?
I think the biggest thing that kind of drew me here was it wasn't terribly far from home, so I still get to live at home. I don't have to deal with housing and expenses and all that stuff. And we still get a little bit of a stipend back, so I think it kind of just worked out best for me.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Well, it'll be Adam Truck and Logan Tribble, the first two to bat in this inning. The only two that Bellis hasn't struck out today. He struck out 7 in a row, starting with Kraus, who bats third in this inning.
Drew Bellis has retired 51 batters this year. 36 of them have been via the strikeout.
That is an unbelievable amount.
Feels like some days Bellis could pull the Satchel Paige, have his players just all sit down and say, I'm going to strike out the side for you, fellas. Take a rest.
Well, he's done that the last 2 innings and embarks on his quest for a third straight inning with 2 balls.
He's got a tough crew to get through. It's Truck, Tribble, and Kraus, although 2 of them are from the left side.
Check swing did not offer. So Bellis behind 3-0. Tribble, one of 2 men to reach in this game for the Sens. Laid down a beautiful bunt, Alex Peltier-esque, for a single, and caused a collision between Bellis and Corbin that allowed runner Flores to make it all the way to third from first. Bellis locates with strike 1 on the fastball. (3-1). Bellis home, and that hits Truck. Oh, a ball 4 hit by pitch. And a leadoff man is aboard for the second time today.
Facing leadoff hitters, Drew Bellis has them hitting .231. That's slightly above, about the same, though, as his overall batting average against, which is around .220.
With runners on, their other opposing teams are hitting just .179. Tough to get hits. They do have 1 hit today with a man on first. 1 for 2 with the sac fly not counting. Actually, 1 for 1, since the sac fly doesn't count for the at-bat, and then Truck was picked off and caught stealing before Kraus could finish his at-bat. Bellis picks off here. Truck not making the same mistake twice.
Bellis has a pretty good lefty pickoff move. That time, Truck able to read it.
Truck takes off, and his stolen bid attempt will be foiled by his teammate Tribble.
That's a swing pitch, but he got a very good jump, and sometimes as a hitter, you have to be able to lay that off if you're Tribble. It sucks to go into a 2-strike count, but Truck has that bag, and he gets in scoring position for you, so you have to be able to let that one go by.
Especially with a guy like Bellis on the mound, you're just trying to piece runs together by any way possible. Bellis checking on Truck again. So you do get that 2-strike count, but if Truck steals second, Tribble is able to maybe shorten up and just put one in play on the ground, and then you have runner on third, 1 out. You're on your way to manufacturing a run. Instead, Truck remains at first, and there are 2 strikes anyways. Bellis comes home, chops right back to him off his glove, and he can't find it. An infield single, the second one of the game. This one credited to Logan Tribble.
That's a play where it's all too natural for Bellis to try and stick the glove up. He has a chance at it, but it's tough because the instincts tell you to do that. But if he lets it go by, that's probably a double play. It's right at the bag, right, probably able to range over, but unfortunate.
Scored an E1 in our book. We did have a scoring, posthumous scoring change, or retroactive is probably the better word, since nobody passed away. But that scored an E1, so for now, the runner on first is unearned. Pop fly down the left field line and out of play for Steven Kraus, who struck out his first time at the dish.
The Big Train's 26th error committed this year.
Bellis gets back-to-back foul balls, and he's way ahead of Kraus, 0-2. We'll see which of his plethora of pitches he elects to go to for the strikeout. That second pitch was the slider. First one was the fastball. See if he completes the trifecta with a curveball here. 0-2 pitch. Bellis stares at Truck at second. Now comes home. Does go to the curveball and gets strike 3. Actually, the slider. A little more depth than some of his other sliders, but regardless of what pitch he threw, the result is the same. Strikeout number 8 And Carter Groen will step to the plate.
He got on top of that one and really just dove away from the bat of Kraus. It was a very good spot at the bottom of the zone. Not the pitch that Kraus was looking for at all. You could see that from the swing.
He went fishing and came home with a bucket full of nothing. This one fouled straight back. Bellis' pitch count up to 59. The next one will be 60. Next one is inside for ball number 1. Most pitches he's thrown in a game was a 5-inning start, gave up 2 earned, struck out 12. That's his season high and the league high for a single game. He threw 78 pitches in that game. This feels like probably a similar target, around the 80 pitch mark.
Thrown 60 so far today.
Misses with ball 2.
The fastball for Drew Bellis. The command has not been at its apex. It's been the breaking pitches that have won the day for him today.
Yeah, really, especially the slider. Has been his best pitch today, and he's gone to it more frequently than he usually does. Throws it again here and gets a pop-up out of play for strike 2.
But he's been able to throw it in any count, and I think more than anything, that's something if his UCF coaches are looking at film, they're most impressed by is the pitchability that he's shown this year. Obviously, yes, his stuff is overpowering at times, but it's been his ability to pitch that's been most on display for me.
He's been in and around the strike zone all season and all day. 2-2, another swing and a miss. 9 strikeouts for Drew Bellis. And he's unfazed by the 2 runners aboard. He has thrown 39 of his 63 pitches in the strike zone.
And he's found a way, at least today, a plan for his 2 breaking pitches. The slider has been early in counts. It's been to steal strikes, get soft contact, and when he's got way ahead, he's gone to that curveball, and it's gotten swing after swing.
First pitch to Danny Serwick, another lefty. He's bounced in the dirt. Serwick, a Boston College product. He went 1 for 3 on Monday against the Big Train with an RBI double. Also scored a run. In game number 1, though, 0 for 4. On the season, hitting just .235. He's got 4 doubles and a homer to his name. Bellis home with the 1-0. Fastball misses high again.
The fastball hasn't been able to get the timing right on it. Sometimes that's how it goes for a pitcher. You have really good feel when you're trying to spin your pitches, but the fastball just seems to fall out of the hand.
2-0. Lined sharply in a right field steal, turning around, but he is under it for out number 3. Drew Bellis strikes out or retires 9 batters consecutively on strikeouts. That line drive into right ends that streak, but he escapes a 2-on and no-out jam. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Big Train still leading 3-1. good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, which is reflected even less in the score than the scorebook. Just one earned run in this game. Drew Bellis allowed a walk that could have been a called strike 3, a bunt single, and a sac fly. All 3 runs the Big Train have scored are unearned because of an error by the second baseman. Just 5 hits in the game, 4 for the Big Train. And Josh Skoronsky, who grounded out to second, is up now.
It feels like, despite how well Bellis has pitched, he's been a product of some bad batted ball luck at times. I mean, that bunt single is a bit of ill fortune, and he's had a couple of, you go back to the Alexandria game, there was a few plays that probably should have been made, a few balls that squeaked through, and he still has put up stellar numbers.
It's almost as if, and this is obviously not the case, but Bellis strikes out so many guys that it feels like some of these defenders might be a little surprised when the ball's actually put in play. I mean, you look at today's game, there have been 4 balls put in play the entire game. There was a bunt single. There was an E1, or scored an E1, could have been a hit, glanced off of Bellis's glove. Nobody else even got a chance at that. And then 2 flyouts. Everything else has been a strikeout, a walk, or a hit by pitch. A lot of these fielders probably just not super engaged in the game, which can happen even when your pitcher's moving if he's striking guys out. Josh Skoronsky takes 4 straight balls to reach base.
Good job getting it started. Even with Bellis pitching as well as he is, this is still a very good offense coming from Southern Maryland. Boys from Waldorf can jump on you at any given time, and a 2-run lead does not quite feel safe.
Not at all, especially in the wake of last night's game, where the Big Train were up 6-2 after a fantastic start from Lehman, only to see the Aces, who were the league's hottest offense. That ball skips through the legs of Bowling. It looks like we actually have a new catcher in the game. Maybe not. Hard to tell if that's... No, that's a 4. So definitely not Chet Bowling still behind the plate. We'll see if we can figure out who it is. Maybe Jax Nichols, who wears number 4, or Jack Ewart, who wears 14. We'll figure that out for you at some point. But last night, Connor Lehman worked a gem of a start, 5 innings of 2-run ball. And the Big Train led 6-2, but the Aces came into that day with 41 runs in their last 2 games, and they showed why with a 7-run 6th to flip that game completely the other way and end up winning 9-7. Lubier's had trouble finding the zone in this inning. He's thrown 8 pitches, 7 of them for balls, and Parker Corbin is all the way ahead.
Lubier, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast that he hasn't really been stretched out yet this year, and I think you're seeing the consequence of that right now. Even though it's only been 3 innings, it's a hot night, it's a muggy night. He's thrown over 50 pitches, and these misses are the misses of a guy who's getting a little bit fatigued.
Finds the zone for strike 1, begins the long climb back into this at-bat. Parker Corbin, a guy who is known to work his walks, came into the day with 13 and added 2 more in game number 1. Reached on the costly E4 in his first time up. Lubier has battled back to a full count.
Big swing for Corbin here, just, again, trying to add on for Bethesda.
Full count with a runner on second and nobody away. And Parker Corbin, a great take on a curveball. The first 2 reach for Matthew Wesley, who doubled and scored in the second.
The ability this Big Train team has to work counts and put the ball in play at the end of the day is one of their best attributes as an offense. They've only struck out 111 times so far this year, easily the best in the league, 16 fewer than the second-place Senators.
Wesley squares to bunt, as we see these teams do so often. And now a quick meeting on the mound. So it looks like Jax Nichols is the man behind the plate, replacing Chet Bowling. Bowling played all 7 innings in game number 1. And he appeared in the first 3 today, but will take a seat for the rest of the evening.
Was a bit surprised to see Bowling back in the starting lineup. I mean, catching 2 games is tough for a guy in one day. It's punishing heat out there today, and Bowling put in a shift throughout that game 1.
Yeah, he was working back there, blocking balls. Went 0 for 3 at the plate, but had a good day receiving. 0 for 1 today, so evidently head coach Scott Middleton had seen enough of Bowling and wanted to get Nichols a couple at-bats. This game, obviously just a shortened 7-inning game, as you see on that score bug. And we're already into the bottom of the 4th. We've moved pretty quickly here. Only an hour and 8 minutes since first pitch.
It's been 2 pretty quick games. Good pitching from the Big Train has sped things along. A total of 11 innings pitched, 1 run allowed.
Game 1 was concluded in about an hour and 50 minutes. We played 7 innings in that one. Wesley squares to bunt and pulls back, but the pitch is in for a strike.
Little front door slider from Lubier there, but that's a good pitch to bunt. A breaking ball that you get down in the zone is one of the easiest pitches to bunt because the ball's already going the way you want it to go, down. You just guide the bat into it, let it fall to the earth.
1-1. Wesley squaring again, pulling back again. That ball skitters away from Nichols. Skowronski for third. Parker Corbin to second, and the throw sails into center. So Josh Skowronski goes 180 feet, and the wild pitch plus E2 plates the 4th run of the day for the Big Train.
Ill-advised throw that time from Nichols. You could tell he wanted to make up for a block that skittered away from him, and he really had no chance to get Corbin out there at second base, and that just gifts a run to the Big Train. Lubier has had a tough time with the defense behind him.
Defense has not been friendly to Lubier. The count sits at 2-1 to Matthew Wesley. No longer bunting. He skies one deep into center field. This is pushing back Truck. It's at the wall. Truck cannot make the catch. Ball clanks off the wall. Rounding third and scoring is Parker Corbin. Holding up at second is Matthew Wesley, his 2nd double of the game. This one drives in a run.
How about a 2-double day for your 8-hole hitter? What more can you ask? Gets him both kind of ways. A little looper down the right field line that got away from a diving Groen, and that one clanked off the wall. Well struck, 95 off the bat, went 360 feet. Good piece of hitting by Wesley. Gets a middle pitch and doesn't miss it.
Lubier clearly showing signs of fatigue. Not getting help from his defense, but a walk, and a double cranked to dead center to start off this 4th inning. It's been at the bottom of the lineup that has really produced for the Big Train today. Dylan Murphy hard on the ground, just foul. He tucked in 2 extra base hits just inside the third base bag yesterday.
And to me, the way he's hitting the baseball is a sign of a guy who's locked in. He's pulling stuff with authority. The first pitch of this at-bat, 95 off the bat, just a bit foul. His hit back in the 2nd was crushed through the 5-6 hole on a line. I mean, Dylan Murphy just looks comfortable in the batter's box right now.
Oh, 1 from Lubier. Still nobody out in the inning. Wesley leads off second. Nichols blocks that pitch. The bottom 4 in this lineup have reached in 6 of 7 plate appearances, one of them the error. Murphy trying to make it 7 of 8. Meanwhile, the top 5 in the lineup, for as good as they've been this season, are a combined just 2, 4, 10.
But I think that shows the character of the Big Train offense. When one side doesn't work out, the other side tends to step in and take over.
Lubier comes home and misses again, in danger of walking his 3rd batter of the inning. And I imagine he's nearing the end of the line, but nobody is actively throwing in the bullpen. There's a couple of guys for Southern Maryland We're going through warm-up activities, but nobody getting hot. So it may be a while yet before Lubier sees any sort of relief. 3-1 pitch. Bottom right at the knees, but misses for ball 4.
Dylan Murphy just has a catcher's eye. It's so good. He's only struck out 1 time all year to 8 walks. I mean, that's an incredible ratio. And that's the type of eye you develop from years and years behind the plate. You know what pitch shapes look like. I mean, he probably knows what Lubier's pitch shapes look like more intimately than many. But Dylan Murphy he's got big league presence at the plate.
Now Murphy, the advantage of having caught Mark Lubier at FAU, at least in practice, possibly in games too. Not 100% sure one way or the other. Alex Peltier, who has a bunt single in this game, bats now. He has stolen second base. He did strike out in the first. 4 hits on the day, 3 in game number 1. And a chance to extend this big train lead. A very similar game to game number 1 as for how it's played off. Southern Maryland, a 1-0 lead. Taking off for third is Wesley. He got a fantastic jump. Dylan Murphy remains at first, but Matthew Wesley has another stolen base. That is number 4 for him.
That one is just pure base running smarts. Anybody can steal third, no matter how slow you are. And Matt Wesley's not slow. He moves pretty well. But that one, just a perfect jump. Saw Lubier just holding, but knew he was going to go home. Lubier had no intention of picking off, and Wesley gets a fantastic jump.
Now Murphy heading for second, but Peltier spoils that with a ground ball foul into the big train bullpen, and now it skitters back into the field of play.
Another great jump for the big train there, though. I mean, Murphy had second base swiped if Peltier didn't foul that off. They stole 3 bags in game 1. They've got 2 already today.
See what Murphy decides to do here. The defense aware of his intentions. Counts 2-1 to Peltier. Murphy sticking put for now. Peltier takes ball 3. And with 1 more ball, Murphy will advance to second the easy way.
Wouldn't hate seeing Peltier, as good a hitter as he is, really try and limit his swing to a very small area with the control problems that Lubier is having.
Murphy takes off, and it's ball 4. So Alex Peltier walks for just the 6th time this season, not necessarily your conventional leadoff hitter, although he gets on base with the best of them because he hits everything. And we will have a pitching change, so evidently nobody was throwing because the reliever was already warmed up. Mark Lubier's day is done. He leaves the bases loaded and departs with 2 earned runs, 3 unearned runs, and 3 more he's responsible for. Still no outs in the bottom of the 4th. Big Train looking to put this one to bed early. We will be back with you shortly with the new pitcher on Big Train Baseball Network. Berzonski on in relief. He has been the best pitcher for the Senators this season. He has appeared in 5 games. He's 3-0 with 14 innings pitched and just 1 run crossing the plate on his watch.
Berzonski's been very, very good. Sort of surprised to see him in this spot. They're just really trying to hold this game close.
Brennan Wright, the first crack at Berzonski, and he swings at the first pitch into right center. Truck makes the grab. All 3 runners are tagging. The throw goes to third. It's cut off by Flores, but everyone's safe. Wesley scores. Murphy to third. Peltier to second. A very productive out for Brennan Wright.
And that's one of those little things that I love about Alex Peltier on the base paths. If you watched him at first base on that last play, he took 3 slinky steps off the bag after the catch was made, and then he saw the throw going to third and immediately took off. A lot of guys will be, oh, I'm at first, I don't need to tag, but Peltier was thinking second all the way.
Dylan Murphy created that possibility by tagging for third. That ball hit pretty well by Brennan Wright, deep enough to score Wesley without a throw and allow Murphy to tag, and Peltier taking advantage. John Martinez at the plate now. He is at the top of the team leaderboard in sac flies and is in position where he could hit one. He and Peyton Steele both have 4. Brennan Wright just picked up his 4th as well. Brennan Wright has 4 sac flies and 3 sac bunts to his name. He is Mr. Sacrifice, doing whatever the team needs.
And Brennan Wright, not the biggest RBI guy, but just as a consequence of hitting the top of this, this violently hitting lineup, he's got 13 knocked in. And as you mentioned, those 4 sac flies speaks to a guy who's just willing to go up there and get the job done.
Yeah, usually the number 2 hitter in your lineup, when he doesn't hit for a ton of power, is not going to drive in a lot of runs. But because the Big Train lineup is so deep and the bottom of the lineup gets on so well and so consistently, there's guys aboard no matter where you're hitting. 1-2. Martinez fouls it straight back. Spoils a Berzonski put-away fastball at 87.
And that's a pitch that Martinez might want back. He puts a pretty decent swing on it, just a bit under. But that's a pitch I think he saw well. So just sort of dropped the bat head beneath it.
Berzonski a long stare, and he's working out of the windup with runners on second and third. A couple of shakes of his head, now steps off to reset the pitch clock. Wipes some sweat off his face. Glove comes off, now it's back on. There's 1-2. Big leg kick before breaking a curveball into the dirt for ball 2.
It appears that this might be a short outing for Berzonski by design. Alan Miller, I believe, is warming up in the pen for the Senators. But given that Berzonski is their best pitcher and threw on the 27th, be surprised to see him stretched here.
2-2 in the dirt again. It's possible also that Berzonski maybe started warming up and the score was just 3-1, and they didn't make the move until 6-1. But he is pitching in the lowest leverage situation he's seen. Martinez walks, the base is loaded once again, and the guy who you least want to see at the plate in any situation, but especially with runners in scoring position. Here comes Emilio Gonzalez.
Emilio Gonzalez is 3 for 5 with the bases loaded. He's driven in 9 runs in these situations with just 1 out. He's got a plethora of options.
Worth mentioning about Berzonski, he's only a high school graduate. He's committed to Mount St. Mary's, but has not made it to campus yet. Gonzalez pop up left side, out of play into the Big Train bullpen. So Berzonski, a very young guy who has been remarkably impressive. Only Josh Domaraki of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts has been better than him among qualified pitchers in ERA. Domaraki still has not allowed an earned run. He is just quite simply unreal. But Berzonski, the one earned across 14 innings, outdueling Kide Atatui for second on the Cal Ripken leaderboard in ERA by .05 runs. But an Emilio Gonzalez hit here, if he can score an extra base hit, if he can force in Martinez, would not only help his team score, it would help his FAU Owl teammate and Cal Ripken League teammate. Jump into second on the ERA board. 0-2 pitch, though. And he goes down swinging. 3 pitches to dispose of Emilio Gonzalez. That does not happen very often.
No, it does not. I mean, for such a young guy, Berzonski, pretty impressive repose out there on the mound. Comes into a bases-loaded situation with nobody out, and he's got a chance to really limit the damage, do exactly what the coaching staff wanted him to do.
Peyton Steele now bats with the bases loaded and 2 away. Takes a strike at the knees. Steele, the 9th batter of the inning. The Big Train have batted around. They did not do so in game number 1, which feels like more of a rarity. That ball kicks up and off of Nichols. Doesn't go very far, but took a high hop, and Dylan Murphy coming in to score. All the runners move up 90 feet. A wild pitch from Berzonski scores the 7th run of the game.
Good read by Murphy. He saw that hop high and knew it was going to take a while for Nichols to find it. And the most important thing in those situations is to commit, and that's what Murphy did. Committed. Knew he was coming home, never gave it a second thought, and he scores ahead of a tag.
Runners now stand at second and third. The only forced play now is to first. Counts still even at 1. Steele a slow chopper right down the first baseline, almost a swinging bunt. Berzonski to a knee and a sidearm whip over to first in time. Good defensive play by Nate Berzonski. Not before 4 runs crossed the plate, all of them on Mark Lubier's line. And the Big Train on top 7-1. Drew Bellis out for a 5th inning of work. Jackson Corcoran will tell you all about it when we come back.
Drew Bellis, I bet you did. Well, good luck for you. You're getting it. Drew Bellis back for a 5th inning of work. He has struck out 9 batters through his first 4 innings, allowed just 1 run. It was the leadoff batter in this game, Nick Flores. Now he faces the bottom third of the Senators lineup, 3 men who he struck out already today.
Phillips, well, 2 men, and the replacement, Jax Nichols, for Chet Bowling.
Yeah, you're correct. 3 spots that he struck out as already today. Nichols will be taking his first trip to the plate. At least in this game, he served as the DH in game number 1. Breaking ball outside to MJ Phillips. Slider in there for strike 1. And if there's anywhere that Drew Bellis has looked shaky today, it's been to lead off innings, walked Nick Flores to start the game, and then hit Adam Truck on what would have been ball 4 anyway. But 2 very nice pitches. Puts him on even ground with Phillips here.
Yeah, Jackson, we were talking about how he doesn't approach his warm-up pitches after the first inning with a ton of intent. And maybe sharpening up a little bit.
Oh, that's plenty sharp. Strikeout number 10 for Drew Bellis. How about this kid?
Yeah, I was going to say sharpening up a little bit to warm up innings might have him a little more locked in on the first batter, but he can fall behind 2-0. He can do whatever he wants. He's Drew Bellis, and he's got double-digit strikeouts for the second time this season.
No, Alex Rubinson is breathing a sigh of relief as this game goes on and on. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Just such a pretty pitch. But Bellis has a feature article coming out on BigTrain.org written by our very own beat writer, Alex Rubinson. And as any beat writer knows, if your story is set to come out on a guy and they have a clunker, it's not the best look, but Bellis, anything but one of his better outings of the year. Big curveball goes low. Swing and a miss on the fastball outside.
And just running that pitch away from Jax Nichols. Almost 14.5 inches of horizontal run.
Got him swinging. Number 11 for Drew Bellis. And Dylan Murphy's tired of throwing the ball around. Let's just keep on rolling, Drew, he says.
I mean, Bellis is working so quickly that I don't hate it. Just get the ball back to him, let him get back on the mound, and keep throwing. Bellis up to 76 pitches. He was at 78 on his season high. So it's possible that likely that this is his last inning, not definite. It could be more built up in the interim, although that outing was 3 weeks ago almost. But regardless of this is last batter, last inning, or he's got another frame, he's been magnificent.
He's behind in the count to Cale Vinson. Vinson struck out swinging in the third. Slider just a bit upstairs. He's down 3-0, but he's shown the tools to work back in counts today. That one's in there. Would be quite surprised to see Bellis come back out for a 6th inning of work as he approaches the 80-pitch mark. That breaking ball is low, his second walk of the day, and it brings up Nick Flores.
With that being said, we did see Russell Peterson in game number 1 work 94 pitches. He twirled 7 scoreless. The strikeouts weren't, they were there, 7 strikeouts, not there the same way Bellis has them, but he was extremely efficient, just 7 base runners sprinkled across 7 innings, only allowed multiple runners on base in 1 of those innings.
Calvin Cook is stepping into Nick Flores' spot here. The pinch hitter takes ball 1 low. Cook on the season is hitting a paltry .077 in 13 appearances with a .250 on-base percentage, striking out 10 times.
Cook also pinch hit for Flores in yesterday's blowout loss for the Senators. They lost that game 13-1 in Olney. So getting Flores off his feet as much as possible in games that they don't think they're going to come back.
Ground ball single through the right side. Vinson puts down levers at the second base bag. So it's 1st and 2nd for Adam Truck as Bellis tries to conclude his 5th inning of work without any further event.
Yeah, he'd certainly like to finish the 5th and be eligible for a win. I'm not sure. It's possible he'll be eligible either way since it's only a 7-inning game. I don't know how the rule book in the Cal Ripken League on that, but he is just 1 out away.
He delivers a fastball at the chin of the center fielder Truck for ball 1.
However, Truck has given him the most issue today, a bunt single hit by pitch, the only guy who's reached multiple times, or reached in every plate appearance. Really multiple times since Flores' spot, the leadoff spot has been on twice, but once was Flores, once was Cook.
Bellis goes to the rosin bag. Rosins up the bow and steps back up to the mound. Slider, that's there. Ball 3 called.
Yeah, that was right at the knees and in the zone, according to our track man, but Bellis not getting the call.
That's there too. Ball 4. The bases are loaded for Logan Tribble's spot in the lineup. And Bellis just needs to get one more. Dylan Murphy talking it over with him.
A lot of confidence shown by both head coach Sal Colangelo, pitching coach Craig Lopez, to not even go out there, trusting Bellis and his catcher to talk things over and retire one of the better hitters in this lineup in Logan Tribble. And now here comes Sal. So that might be it.
Colangelo stepping out to the mound. I don't believe I've seen a signal yet. And Bellis does hand the ball over. Ask not for whom the Bellis tolls, though. It tolls for thee. 4 2/3 inning, 11 strikeouts. Another excellent outing for Drew Bellis, but he'll hand it off to someone else to conclude the 5th when we return on the Big Train Baseball Network. The 911 call goes out, and Tanner Kaler is the one to respond. He enters the game with the bases loaded, technically pitching for the second time today. He was the starter back on June 13th in the game that was suspended, and now coming in with the bases loaded and 2 outs to face Logan Tribble.
Tanner Kaler, his last outing was difficult when 2 innings against Gaithersburg allowed 3 hits, 3 walks, and 5 earned runs. He also hit 3 batters. His first 2 outings, both good. He went 2 1/3 without a run allowed, 4 strikeouts against Silver Spring, and then 2 more 2 weeks later against Silver Spring and earned a save. And technically, he has a 4th outing that went in the book today.
He has a 5.4 ERA all told, including that 4th outing, that start. It's just now going in the book.
So it'll go in that he pitched in 2 games in the same day. The reality is they were 16 days apart.
First pitch came in at 90 miles an hour, went out at 77, but foul. That second fastball is up and away, also at 9-0 on the radar gun. Tribble has picked up a sac fly and reached on an error back in the 4th. A ground ball right back to Bellis on the mound. 1-1, nice pitch, strike 2.
big pitch here because a Logan Tribble base hit could put the Senators right back into this one.
The 1-2 from Kaler. No, just a bit outside. Our trackman concurs with the umpire. Just a bit out, but a good backdoor slider attempt from Kaler against a really good hitter in Tribble. Deuce is wild. Here comes Kaler. Chopper back up the middle. Coming in is right. Fields it near the belt. The throw. He got him. Tanner Kaler escapes the jam. And the Big Train maintain their 6-run lead. As we go to the break, we'll tell you a little about former Big Train star Brandon Lau. Today's Big Train of the Bigs features Brandon Lau, Big Train alum class of 2014 and current Tampa Bay Rays infielder. In 2014 for the Big Train, over 26 games, Lau hit .330 with a 1.044 OPS. And this year for the Tampa Bay Rays, he's having a very solid season, including a home run last night against the Baltimore Orioles. He has an .801 OPS and 2.1 wins above replacement. The 7-year MLB veteran will be playing at Camden Yards over the weekend for his Rays, the team with the 4th best record in the American League. Tanner Kaler, what a job he did last inning, coming in to get the 3-hole hitter Logan Tribble, keeping the lead at 7-1 and trying to keep the game still at 7-1 will now be Alan Miller, comes in to replace Nate Berzonski, who limited the damage last inning, coming in with the bases loaded, no outs, allowing 2 inherited runners to score, but no more. Miller, the right-hander, now enters the ballgame, the junior from Mechanicsville, Maryland. He's got a 2-0 record on the year, and he faces Josh Skoronsky to start things off. Big swing and a miss from Skoronsky. Good pitch by Miller on the outer half.
Well, one of Miller's wins came against the Big Train. He worked 2 innings on Monday, gave up 4 hits and a walk, just 1 run, struck out 2, and was the winning pitcher.
Sort of danced through the raindrops that game, but did a good job, and that's grounded up the middle past a diving Calvin Cook for a leadoff single.
Yeah, Skoronsky leading off back-to-back innings by getting a board. Big Train batted 9, so everyone took a turn in the 4th, and Skoronsky doing his part to make sure the same happens in the 5th.
Miller, a long-levered right-hander who comes from a low slot, so his fastball takes off away from left-handed hitters, and the slider darts in towards them. So that's what Parker Corbin will see. He takes one of those fastballs, and it moves out of the zone for ball 1.
Miller's been fairly sharp this season, a 4.69 ERA. He's pitched in 5 games and has a positive decision in 3 of them, 2 wins and a save. Getting it done when it needs to get done. Right now, trailing 7-1, not the most high pressure of spots. Certainly wants to keep his team in it, if you can say the 6-run lead is in it, which you can, since the Big Train allowed 7 in the 6th yesterday, and the Senators an even better offense than the Aces, although not quite as hot at the moment.
Team that's 2nd in average slugging and OPS, Southern Maryland. Good pitch by Miller. Strike 1. They're just 5th in runs, though. They've sometimes lacked when completing their opportunities. They've also lacked when picking up walks. They've walked the fewest out of any team in the league. Skoronsky stays put at first base after that one goes in the dirt.
Corbin already 3 walks on the day, 1 in this game, 2 in the first.
The pickoff back at first. The Senators thought they might have gotten him, but umpire waves safe over at the first base bag. Corbin has scored 3 times today, including game 1.
And twice in this game, part of both the 2nd and 4th inning rallies.
Skies that one to left center. Coming in is Truck and makes the catch in his right glove hand.
Well, it looked like left fielder Logan Tribble lost that ball in the lights. He threw his hands up in a "where is it?" So Adam Truck had the longer run of the 2, but calls off his left fielder.
No Big Train hitter has picked up 3 doubles in a game. Can Matt Wesley be the first? He has 2 already and a chance to do it again. Slider in the dirt, bounces away from Jax Nichols, and on to second goes Josh Skoronsky.
Matthew Wesley vaulting himself back into a tie atop the doubles leaderboard, and I believe at the moment is tied with just Emilio Gonzalez at top of the extra base leaderboard with 8 on the season.
He is the 4th Big Train hitter to pick up 2 doubles in the game. The last was Peyton Steele, June 25th against Gaithersburg.
Steele's done it twice this season.
And that's sent down the right field line, twisting towards the wall. It's down! Another extra base hit for Matt Wesley. He's pulling into second, and a 3-double night for the 8-hole hitter, and it brings home Josh Skoronsky 8-1.
Well, what a call by you, Jackson. You were on it the whole way, noting it's 2 doubles. Nobody's done it 3 times. Wesley's now gone to right field twice, using all fields en route to his best offensive output of the season, bettering his 2-hit game where he had a double and a triple.
He joins Logan Panett as the only Big Train player to pick up 3 extra base hits in a game. Panett had 2 doubles and a home run against Metro SoCo on June the 8th. That pitch is outside to Dylan Murphy. Murphy is 1 for 1 with a 2 RBI single and a walk. He eventually came around to score.
And at the bottom of the lineup continues to carry the load for the Big Train.
That's looped into very shallow right field. Right there is Cale Vinson, out number 2.
But even after that, the bottom of the lineup has batted now 12 times between Skoronsky, Corbin, Wesley, and Murphy. They've been aboard 9, 1 error, 3 walks, 3 doubles, all for Wesley, and Murphy and Skoronsky each with hits as well.
They've scored 7 of the Big Train's 8 runs, those bottom 4 hitters. Back to the top we go. Alex Peltier, he's done his part in helping those bottom 4 hitters come around with a hit and a walk.
Peltier staying hot and continuing his stretch atop the average leaderboard.
Another pitch in the dirt, kicks away from Nichols, but nowhere for Wesley to move.
Peltier came into today competing with Adam Truck for the best average in the league. Peltier had a 1-point advantage. Truck, though, went 1 for 5 in game number 1. He's 1 for 1 today, so 2 for 6 overall. Meanwhile, Peltier is 4 for 5.
1-1 to Peltier, grounded up the middle, picked on a hop by Cook, but it bounces in and out of the glove, allowing Peltier to reach on the E6.
Peltier had a similar play in game number 1. It was scored an E6 on a throwing error, but a very similar slow ground ball. Chance he beats it out and forces a rushed play. That one was overturned to a hit. This one unlikely to be. Now Brendan Wright is at the bat.
So well-timed pickoff from Miller, but Peltier scampers back.
No, I think Matt Wesley is dealing with a dislodged contact. He is going to his eye. He either got dirt in his eye, or if he does wear contacts, it may be swimming about. So while that pickoff was happening, Wesley was just not standing on third at all. I don't know that the ball was actually live, and if it was, they could have gotten Wesley out.
Another pick towards Peltier.
To get back to what I was about to say, Brendan Wright is batting right now. He has not reached base today. He's reached base in each of his first 16 games, and there's a very good chance that this is his last attempt to do so in this shortened 7-inning game. The Big Train seem likely to only bat in the 6th after this inning. And if Brendan Wright gets out, he may not see another chance to extend that on-base streak that has lasted since day number 1 of the season.
He checks his swing, and he does go, so it's 1-1 over at third. Whatever ocular misadventure Wesley was suffering appears to have abated. The 1-1, so Wright is outside.
I don't think anyone has ever said the words ocular misadventure together in a sentence before.
I feel like there's been plenty of ocular misadventures over the years.
Oh, I'm sure there have been. I just don't know that those two words have ever been uttered right next to one another.
Maybe not on the baseball broadcast, at the very least.
You hear something new every day with Jackson on the mic. As we were talking about yesterday, Quincy and I were, with Jackson producing us. He's by far the most creative in terms of his varied vocabulary.
Deuces are wild for Wright. It's outside, and Peltier takes second base easily.
Stolen base number 12 on the season. Number 13, I should say. He was caught yesterday. That was the first and only time he's been caught trying to swipe a bag. He was gunned down at third, but has bounced back today with 3 across 2 games.
The 3-2 to Wright. And he will keep the streak alive. Ball 4, he's going to reach base. And he keeps on moving. Now 17 straight games where he has reached, dating back to the beginning of the season.
That Big Train playing game number 19 right out of the lineup for 2 of those, including game number 1 today. But when he's in there, he's getting aboard.
He also has an RBI today on a sac fly. And here's John Martinez. He takes ball 1 outside from Alan Miller.
And with Brendan Wright reaching, that leaves just Peyton Steele as the only Big Train hitter to not climb aboard today. Or in this game, I should say. Steele did single in game number 1, came around a score in the 9th inning, or the 8th inning.
And just really impressive what the Big Train have done against a quality Senators team. This team came in with the best record in the league before the Big Train beat them in game 1. And so far in the innings played today, it's been a 15-1 spread in favor of the Big Train.
I mean, the Senators came in as the second best pitching staff behind only the T-Bolts and the second best offense behind the Big Train. They're by far the most balanced team. And the Big Train have jumped on their pitching and quieted the offense simultaneously. It has honestly, as much as we've seen the Big Train just run opponents off the field with 19, 20, 21 run games, today's felt like one of the most complete and impressive performances on both sides of the ball. They have taken advantage of walks, but it hasn't been an overwhelming amount of walks or errors made by the Senators. It's been good, timely hitting combined with exceptional pitching.
Good piece of pitching by Miller there. He strikes out Martinez looking, and that'll end the inning. The Big Train pick up 1 run on 2 hits. They strand the bases loaded, but still lead by 7 with 2 innings left to go here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Tanner Kaler re-enters the game. He had a huge induced ground out to end the top of the fifth, came in with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and got a 350 hitter in Logan Tribble to bounce out to short. He throws his first pitch to Steven Krause this inning inside. Alongside Eliav Brooks Rubin, I'm Jackson Corcoran. Gibson Hurt is on the bells and whistles. The 1-0 is swung on and missed, and it goes to the backstop off the glove of Dylan Murphy. It's nighttime here at Shirley Povich Fields. Well, field, not fields. There's only one. There's only one in the world.
One and only.
Swinging a foul by Steven Krause. Cloud cover has hovered menacingly over the field for much of the game, but the downpour has never come, thankfully.
And it's also not so menacing when Game 1 is played in 97-degree heat. It's more grateful, I'm sure the players are, than anything else.
That ground ball not too menacing either, easily handled by John Martinez. Sure hands at second, retire Steven Krause.
And Martinez not playing his usual shortstop today. We saw Brennan Wright, who slides over from second to short, makes a nice play to end that inning. Martinez, a little more routine, but handles it with ease. I'm not sure the switch was anything more than routine. We'll see if it becomes commonplace down the line. But Martinez, I would say, is the better defender than Wright. So a little bit of an interesting. When we got that lineup card, that was the first thing I noticed was that they had flip-flopped positions. Brennan Wright this season, for as good as he's been at the plate, has made 5 errors defensively. Martinez has made 4. So
that's a little looper towards Martinez. Easy play caught at the belt. But when I think of a switch like that defensively, what I think of is Sal Colangelo's mindset about these guys. He's trying to present them to the world and prepare them for their next seasons of college baseball and hopefully for a lot of these guys, eventual pro baseball. And he wants Brennan Wright to get some looks at short so maybe he can play short for the South Alabama Jaguars when he heads there this year.
And Wright's certainly capable of it, and his bat is so good that they'll have to put him somewhere, get him in the lineup down in Mobile. Also worth noting, I don't know whether this is the reason or not, but this Southern Maryland lineup is a lefty-heavy lineup, so maybe flip-flopping them to put Martinez in the position where he's going to get the majority of the work, although it's been pretty balanced so far.
1 chance for Wright, he put it away. 2 chances for Martinez, and they've been the last 2 hitters.
Like I was saying earlier, just not a lot of chances for the defense in general, with Drew Bellis on the mound striking out 11 out of the 14 batters retired. 11 strikeouts and 1 out on the base paths, and both outs that he let up were fly balls. So no ground balls on the infield that were playable for outs, just the one that hit off Bellis's glove and the bunt single.
Should mention the man hitting right now is Alex Martin. He's pinch hitting for Danny Surowick. Alex Martin hails from Rush, Kentucky. That pitch is high and away from Kaler to Martin, the sophomore utility player who attends Gulf Coast Community College.
Martin attended Xavier this past season. Did not play all year and has already committed to Gulf Coast CC.
Little chopper over to Parker Corbin, unleashes a throw, and it's dug out at first by Emilio Gonzalez. Or was it? There's a safe call at first base, and I don't know what that safe call could be. Did they say that Martinez came off the bag? Because he picked it cleanly. It was in his glove all the way, and the throw certainly beat him. One way or the other, Martin is safe at first. Everyone in the ballpark thought that that was ending over. The point streak, our live scoring, put in and out.
And it is scored in the book as an error by Gonzalez. That's his first of the season. I'm not sure. I can't even say that's a bad scoring and it should be an error by Corbin at third because there was no error. He was out. I guess maybe he came off the bag, but it looked pretty clearly from our angle that he was still on first. We don't have the privilege of replay up here, or else we would give you guys another look. I already had written down in my scorebook 5-3 putout, which I now have to change to E3.
That's just kind of baffling there. Maybe when you watch it back between innings, we'll be enlightened, but as of right now, kind of confused as to why Alex Martin's on first. And Tanner Kaler having to work against MJ Phillips. He throws 1 strike and 1 ball to him.
And we'll see if the Senators can take advantage, like the Big Train did, of a 2-out routine error that allowed the Big Train to score 3 runs in the second.
And Kaler picks off Alex Martin, the throw over to second base. No harm, no foul. Alex Martin, 2 pitches after mysteriously making his way to first, is swiftly erased. And we are through 5.5 with the Big Train leading by 7 runs on the Big Train Baseball Network. Pitcher of the day enters for the Southern Maryland Senators. It's Tyler Mitchell, a right-sided pitcher from Norfolk State.
Tyler Mitchell this season, 6 appearances. This will be his 7th. He's worked 7 innings, so not a long-term guy. Goes about an inning an outing, maybe a little more. 3 earned runs, 5 total. He's given up 7 hits, just the 1 walk. And he struck out 10. The ERA sits at 3.85.
Line drive into center field, 100 miles an hour from Emilio Gonzalez for his 2nd hit of the day.
2nd hit, 3rd hit of the day, 2nd of this game. Not to correct you, just noting.
No, you are.
Gonzalez continues to stay red hot.
For all my pompous verbiage, I still sometimes forget whether to use day or game in doubleheaders.
Well, it's a hard one, and especially with today, because the first game was half today and half 2 weeks ago. So, who really knows anyway? What do days mean? Time is a social construct.
I don't know about that one. I mean, the sun moves around and stuff. That's time.
Fine, fair enough.
That one is called a strike on the outer half. Mitchell, hailing from Norfolk State as a proud Missouri boy, the best memory I have of Norfolk State is them upsetting the 2nd-seeded Missouri Tigers back in, I believe, 2014 in March Madness. That team was built to go a long way, and the Spartans downed them in the first round. And the Big Train lineup helping me purge some of those demons with 2 straight hits off of Mitchell.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you grow up a Missouri fan?
Yes, I did.
Are you still a Missouri fan?
Yeah, since I go to a D3 team, they're the D1 team that I follow closely.
Got it. You follow Minnesota sports at all? Like the University of Minnesota?
Not U of M. I do follow. I'm a big Vikings fan.
Okay. Did that come? Were you always a Vikings fan, or did that come from attending
I was
Carleton?
I was an orphaned Rams fan.
Oh, naturally.
So I wandered the football wilderness until 2022 when I moved up to Minnesota. Went to my first game at the Bank, their gorgeous stadium, and was hooked.
Fair enough. I have been outside that stadium, but never inside. It does look pretty, though. I've heard only great things about it.
I think, having gone there first as not really a Vikings fan, I can say without much bias that it's the best sporting facility that I've ever been to.
Interesting. I have fond memories of that place, despite never going in.
Line drive left field towards Tribble. That's going to be caught out number 1.
My New York Giants, who I've suffered through some futility since back when I was about 7, the last time they won a Super Bowl, and the last time they were even like half decent. But 2022 was the year that they were actually pretty decent. They went 9-7-1 and went into Minnesota and won a playoff game. And the only season of Daniel Jones's career where he was an even average or above average quarterback. And I still think back on that year fondly.
Thanks to a favor from a friend, I was able to get third price tickets to that game and watch Daniel Jones run amok.
Oh, wow. How did I not know that? I actually considered flying up just for that game. Ultimately, it became too expensive, and of my 2 close friends who are Giants fans, one of them wouldn't have been able to go. So we decided against it, but it was in the cards. I think if the scheduling had turned out a little different and maybe money had been a little deeper in my pocket, I might have made the trek out there.
Even with discounted tickets, that still cost me a couple trips out for the remainder of the semester, but was a very fun time, an excellent atmosphere until Daniel Jones hit his 100-yard rushing mark. Pitch to Corbin is inside. Gonzalez and Steele started us off with singles. Skaronski, a hard hit liner that was caught and left. So you've got 2 guys on and 1 out. That pitch high, ball 3. (3-1) to Corbin. Hitters count. Takes ball 4 just above the edge of the zone. And the bases are loaded for Matt Wesley. In today's game, at least, a better hitter you couldn't find in the spot.
3 doubles. He's 2 of them for RBIs. He scored twice. I don't think you can find a hitter who's had a better day anywhere in the Ripken League.
Speaking of, we'll take a look around the Ripken League in just a moment after Matt Wesley's at-bat starts. That pitch is high and inside. The Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts beat the Metro South County Braves in Game 1 5-0.
They trail the Braves 1-0. Still early, just inning number 3 in South County. Meanwhile, the DC Grays, who handled business.
Wild pitch to the backstop. That's going to score a run now, 9-1 Big Train.
DC Grays handled business in game number 1 against the Gaithersburg Giants, and they're up 2-0 in the 4th.
In our only non-doubleheader game, the Alexandria Aces looking to close out a pitcher's duel against the only Crop Dusters. They lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th.
The Aces came in red hot offensively to Shirley Povich Field yesterday. They were quieted in game number 1 of a doubleheader, but broke out in the 6th inning of Game 2, put up 9. Only pitching staff, one of the better ones in the league. I would argue probably 3rd behind the Senators in front of you and the T-Bolts. But the Bats have struggled this season.
This Sens pitching staff is really quite good. I mean, Tyler Mitchell came into this game having a very nice season for himself, and he has not had it today as Matt Wesley singles into right field. That's going to score a run. RBI knock for Wesley, his 3rd ribby of the day. And that one truly is of the day, since this is his first appearance in the doubleheader.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, I talked about it a little bit in Game 1. Brett Ott, who was hitting 9th in Game 1, is the Big Train's OPS, or second in OPS behind Gonzalez. And here comes Matt Wesley, who is hitting 250. He's got 6 extra base hits coming in, 786 OPS, which sounds good, and it is good, but it's also the, I believe, second worst on the team somehow.
Line drive left field, knock for Murphy. Another single, and the Big Train moves station to station. Third run in the inning, 11th on the game.
Yeah, here comes Matthew Wesley with his good but not popping numbers, and he goes 4 for 4 with 3 doubles and 3 runs batted in. And right behind him is Dylan Murphy, who comes in with great numbers but is only playing every other day. You're like, oh, this guy's he's got good platoon splits. Nope, he's got 2 hits, 3 runs batted in, and he's been on base 3 times.
Alex Peltier leans over the plate. It clanks off his helmet, and he'll take first base, loading up the base paths once again.
And when Brendan Wright came to the plate in the 5th, I said this may be his last chance to get on base, which he did. But I was incorrect about that, because here he comes again in the 6th.
Already kept the on-base streak alive, now looking to start a new hitting streak. He went 0 for in his last appearance, again, despite reaching base. His hit list today: swing and a foul. He's looking to help the Big Train extend their league best run differential. Coming into this game, they were plus 67, an incredible number.
That's across 18 games. That means they're averaging a win by about 4 runs.
And that run differential added on to here, another wild pitch allows Wesley to score 12-1. And given that this is a 7-inning game, I'm not entirely sure of the mercy rules, whether they would play the full 7 no matter what, or if another run would call the mercy rule into effect. Maybe Brennan Wright will let us know. Swinging a liner into the left center gap, dribble coming in. He makes the shoestring catch, tagging and scoring is Dylan Murphy. It's 13-1 Big Train.
And we'll see what the umpire decides to do. It looks like we're going to continue playing. Our third base umpire now walking in. He's talking to Sal Colangelo. And here come the Big Train, so that'll do it.
And sort of a walk-off win, a half-hearted, humorous celebration from the Big Train as they win 13-1 over the previous best team in the league. What a performance from the home team tonight. A dominant doubleheader sweep.
Yeah, it was working on both sides of the ball. The Big Train pitching staff, they only used 3 pitchers today. We talked about how important it was going to have to be to manage the bullpen. There was not much bullpen to speak of. Russell Peterson in game number 1 goes 7 scoreless. He worked every inning that we played today in that game. And then Drew Bellis, 4 2/3, just 6 base runners, 1 earned run, 11 Ks, and Tanner Kaler retires the final 4 without issue.
Just complete baseball today from the Bethesda Big Train. Probably, maybe individually, each of these 2 games, their 2 best games of the season. They dismantled a team that took them to task when they went over to Waldorf and played them. They beat them 6-2 and kind of had their number all night in that road game. Coming in tonight, again, in just the innings that were played today, a 20-1 run differential over 14 innings against a team that, until about a week ago, was destroying all in its path.
And the Big Train only allowed 6 hits in 14 innings. 4 credited to Peterson, 2 to Bellis, none to Kaler. And it was just, I mean, we talk so much about the pitching. The offense did what it usually does. They piled on early, came back down 1-0 to start the early slate, and they immediately scored 3 runs. And then came in today, went down 1-0 again in the top of the first, and piled on with 3 more in the second. So they actually trailed to start both of these games 1-0, and then never looked back, did not allow runs in the rest of the way. 7 unanswered in game number 1, 13 unanswered in game number 2, and a dominant day for the Big Train, who, no matter what the result of the T-Bolts game number 2 is, the Big Train will hold the best record in the North Division and the entire Cal Ripken League heading into tomorrow. This
team is really hitting its stride right about now. This was 2 pretty big games. We were discussing, I believe it was Quincy or you, who I was talking with prior to the first game, and we said, going into today, I think a split is good. This is a good Senators team.
I said that.
A split is a good goal to strive for, and a dominant sweep is what you get. You have to be overjoyed with that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Big Train team that has really started slow and has since picked it up. But the Senators really were the only team where it felt like they had the Big Train number, although it was just the one game, but every other team they've played, they have a winning record against. The Senators coming into today was not the case, and they were pretty dominant in that win. The Big Train didn't have the pitching working and certainly didn't have the bats working in game number 1, a 6-2 win. And come out here today, they flipped that record, go down from trailing 0-1 in the season series to now ahead 2-1. The bats look as hot as ever. Matt Wesley, the hero of game number 2. That feels like a different day. Every day there's a different guy who gets on base 4 times and we spend the whole night talking about. Today was Wesley. Game number 1. We had nobody really was on base a ton, but Josh Skaronski went yard. So it feels like there's always something going on with this Big Train lineup where it's the stars, Peltier, Gonzalez, Brennan Wright, but there's someone else who's stepping up. And today, Wesley, Skaronski, yesterday, Brett Ott, Dylan Murphy. There's always something.
And there's a chance to see a new star arise tomorrow against the Metro South County Braves. That game will be on the road at 7 p.m., taking place at South County High School. But Quincy and myself will have the call for you here on the Big Train Baseball Network, radio style. Tune in here again, 7 p.m., the first pitch in that ball game. We hope to see you there as you can watch the best team in the Cal Ripken League take action. But for now, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh.